if the question is whether or not peace in the Middle East is possible, I honestly believe that everything is possible, given the fair outlook and the getting the representatives to actually the actual representatives to represent their people and to speak in their name. I wouldn't see why not. The problem usually is when those who are interested in putting things together and bringing parties together peacefully, they start picking and choosing. So we're going to talk to this, we're going to talk to Fatah, but we're not going to talk to Hamas. Well, Hamas actually was elected through a democratic election. So what happens to this kind of democracy? When we start assigning kinds of democracy that are acceptable and kinds that are not, I believe that it is not 100% representation of the Palestinian situation. So in my humble opinion, and I'm no politician, I'm just a layperson giving my simple-minded understanding of the events. Everybody needs to be represented, and everybody needs to be at the table, and there needs to be a fair hand in weighing the options. My other comment is about sensationalizing the disagreements. What makes things much worse usually is the Jews and the Arabs. They don't even care to say the Muslims, they say the Jews and the Arabs. It is not about Jews and Arabs, because Jews and Muslims and Arabs have lived in this particular land for so many centuries with no problems. I am a proud Muslim, and I'm proud to have practicing Jewish friends. Faith doesn't have anything to do with people just hating each other. But what the media is doing right now is categorizing people and stereotyping people, offering the public as if it was a fact that Jews and Muslims, they just hate each other. Well, actually, they have so much in common than many people would like to admit or believe. But it is the conflict in the Middle East is not a religious conflict. The media needs to get busy explaining this to people instead of firing their emotions about who killed whom and who did whom to what. When we look at acts of violence, we need to stop categorizing people with religion, and we need to actually look behind these acts of violence and see what kind of despair would drive somebody to blow themselves up and take maybe even one or two with them. What kind of despair is this? And we all know the saying, desperate times call for desperate measures. And when people describe their own lives as living hells, so they really don't have much to lose. So maybe if we make life a little more tolerable for these people, they would stop thinking about blowing themselves and others up, and looking at probably other options where people can live side by side and worship their own way and have a common government or two states or whatever political solution we can come up with. But these are my 2 points. The two main points that always come to my mind when I talk about the Middle East or when I think about the Middle East is religion or politics. It is pure politics. There is nothing of the religion in this conflict. And the other thing is that everybody needs to be represented, so we don't have these strange elements jumping up and doing strange things and say, because we